Hello, it's me, Jane's here too. I've played Resident Evil Requiem for about 4 hours, and I guess I'll talk about it.
So do it, coward.
I'm going to. I'd rather be playing it rather than talking about it.
Okay.
Because it's so good, Jane. It's so good. It's so good.
Not gonna lie, you had me in the first half
It's so choice.
of this video.
Yes, all right. So I played, I would say, about 4 hours of the game, right? There was about a 15-minute section with Leon, and then I played about 3 solid hours of Grace, and then I played another little section of Leon at the end. It was like a Grace sandwich. Yeah.
Oh, so this is the first Leon you played.
This
and
is the second Leon I played. And if we had
this
a Grace,
is the wrong Leon. This is
the same guy.
Yeah. But it's not Requiem Leon.
No.
But we happen to have them lying around, and we thought. We thought we'd
do
bring them into the video with
some
us.
set decoration.
Yeah.
So the section that I played, it was all set in a place called the Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Facility.
Okay.
Right, which doesn't sound very exciting. Sounds like where you go and visit your gran.
Depends what chronic condition you've got going on.
Yeah, and zombieism
Zombification
could
is
be a
pretty chronic.
But
yeah.
what it is
it an acute situation or is it a chronic situation?
Right, sure. No, it is a big mansion, obviously, this chronic
But
care center.
everything's a big mansion, Andy,
Yeah.
because you're in Raccoon City, correct?
You're on the outskirts of Raccoon
I don't
City.
think they built any buildings in Raccoon City that weren't giant mansions.
Yeah, but it's
a shopping mall. It's a mansion.
It looks so good.
The
It's
tax
such a
office.
kick-ass
Mansion. Okay, good.
It's so Resident Evil.
Code 6, all staff initiate emergency protocols.
Mr. Kennedy, we need to leave immediately.
What's going on?
I don't know what's happening. Some kind of mass hysteria. The hospital is on lockdown.
So the guy running the place is called Dr. Victor Gideon. And he is one of those Resident Evil scientists who takes photos of his team where there's a bunch of normal scientists and then there's one obvious like Resident Evil bad guy in the photo.
What does that mean? White coat?
Yeah, and he looks
Looking
like
stern.
he looks like a ghost. He's got like light purple skin almost. He looks so pale.
Okay.
But he's in the picture, he's like a normal guy. But when you meet him in the game, he's all like messed up. He's got like weird goggles and all his teeth are like gold grill and stuff. And he's wearing like a snakeskin coat.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one. It's Ashcroft.
And what's his deal?
He wants to bring back or bring about something called Elpis.
Through you, Elpis can finally be set free.
Which,
Excuse me.
yeah, it's something called Elpis, which I think he keeps going on about Elpis, right?
Sounds like an acronym. I hope it's an acronym.
Yeah, which is it's probably like some sort of virus.
The P virus.
The P virus,
Lol.
the Elpis virus, something like that. He wants to do a virus, and he wants to give everyone the
real
virus.
original, Doctor.
But
Very
you know,
good.
because we've had the Ethan Winters games, right? They're bringing
Yes.
it back to the main chronology.
Back to viruses.
Back to
no
back
more
to
fungi.
Umbrella. There's a lot of
And
references
mold.
to Spencer. You'll
Okay,
remember
yeah.
Oswald Spencer, who built the original Resident Evil mansion. There's a lot of talk of Raccoon City. You know,
Yes.
you're in Raccoon City, and we've brought back Leon.
How many years later?
It's set like now, so I assume it's like 20 something years.
So
Leon's
50 odd.
Leon
yeah.
is 50.
No longer baby Leon.
No, and also I think like in the trailer they were talking about this hotel that Alyssa Ashcroft
Where
was in.
Alyssa's mother died.
And I think what happened is that she got killed by this doctor.
Oh,
And
okay.
he like murdered her, but also like
Wow.
in the
Big
process
story moment.
got set on fire or something, and that's why
And that's
he's all
why he
messed
looks
up.
all weird and purple.
Yeah.
Or pale.
But like both you and Grace are in this mansion. So the two sections that we played, we started off playing as Leon. I'll kind of get into like the differences between the characters. So Leon is, you can play the sections in first person or third person. You can switch between them. But the way that Capcom had set it up and the way that I think is the default for it is that Leon is in third person and Grace is in first person. So Leon is very much that kind of Resident Evil 4 action gameplay. So in the section I played, Leon arrives at the chronic care center. A sort of a nurse shows him in and is like, if you'll just wait in this room, I'll go.
Are you saying chronic hair centre?
Chronic hair? Well, no, he doesn't need a chronic hair center. You've seen the Leon model in the game, right?
Yeah.
He's super hot.
Yeah.
And you know that Capcom, all the female employees at Capcom kept being like, little hotter.
Make it again. Make it better.
Make him cooler. So he.
Have you seen his new jacket?
Yes, I've seen his new jacket. He's got like a black leather jacket with a fur collar. He walks in. There's a screenshot from the game where it's Leon leaning on a sink and he's wearing like a sort of like rolled up long sleeve like Henley, and it is just straining on the forearm muscles. His bangs are hanging down, and I'm just like, yeah, the female employees at Capcom were heavily involved in this design because Leon looks amazing. He looks so cool. He just walks in and he's got that Leon attitude from Resident Evil 4, not the one from Resident Evil 2. So the Resident Evil 4 attitude where he's like constantly unflappable. He's constantly cracking wise and making jokes and being like, sure thing. Yeah. And they show him into a side room and he's like, guess I'll have to wait. And then like all the alarms start going off, and then everything goes all like crazy zombies.
I think I want a second opinion.
And you start getting attacked by like a big horde of zombies. One of them's got a chainsaw.
When we say zombies,
Yes.
describe.
They're very much like Resident Evil 4 zombies, so they're not slow and shuffly.
Like Plaga zombies.
But yeah, they are like they arm themselves with weapons.
Ganados.
Yeah, some of them got knives.
Okay.
Some of them will just kind of grab you and bite you, but they're pretty quick. And one of them has a chainsaw. But the great thing in Resident Evil Requiem is that if you kill the chainsaw enemy, you can pick up his chainsaw. Finally, I know. So I was just like barreling around the place with a chainsaw, just like attacking zombies with it. Spinning around the place. You've got like a bunch of finishing moves as well. So you know in Resident Evil 4 you can shoot zombies in the legs and it will stagger them, and then you can run up and do a suplex or whatever. So a lot of that stuff, and it's contextual now. So if you're next to a wall, Leon will kick their head into a wall. If you're next to a sort of railing, he'll like smack their head into a railing.
Trying to imagine that in first person. Like a first person suplex, first person chainsaw attack. Did you play him in first person?
No, I didn't play Leon in first person. It didn't feel right. But maybe I played. Grace has got some as well, and like she's got a shove, which is like, you know, it looks good in first person. But yeah, the Leon stuff is full like gung ho action stuff. You're like running around. You've got like much better weaponry. He's got this preposterous handgun, like the longest barrel, the most gigantic cylinder on it. It's ridiculous, and it's he gives it to Grace at the end of that gameplay section. So when you start playing as Grace, you have this ludicrous gun with one bullet.
Jesus. Oh.
I don't know if that's like Leon saying use it on yourself if things get
Leon.
too hairy. But yeah, so the Leon stuff, very action heavy. And yeah, really kind of run and gun.
It makes me think of Resident Evil 6, like Whisper It. But you know how they sort of wanted like several games within a game, each with different like tones and settings and characters. How does that compare to this? Obviously that's not what we want, but
yeah,
like Grace being a certain, you know, kind of tone and first person, and Leon being, you know, third person, if you like.
Yeah, I think it's less pronounced than the sort of trailers and previews have been making it seem. So the way that they're kind of pitching it at the moment is that Grace is a very stealthy, horror-led first-person experience.
Yes.
And Leon is a full gung-ho third-person action thing. But it's worth remembering that Grace is an FBI agent.
Yeah.
She's more suited to knowing how to shoot things than, say, Ethan Winters is, because he was just a regular guy.
So do you think when that becomes like the focus of attention, it's maybe like more of a marketing thing than it is like a true reflection of what the developers were intending? They weren't like, let's make a sort of 2-part game.
Yeah, I think it definitely starts that way, right? So the Grace section starts right after the section that Mike and I played previously, where you're being chased by something that looks like Lisa Trevor, and you make it through like a security gate.
We
you
can
meet
link
up
that
with
video
Leon
somewhere. Yeah.
You meet up with Leon, the two of you get separated, and then as Grace you have this handgun with one bullet and nothing else. And at the start it is quite tense and quite horror-y. You're sort of creeping around, you're trying not to make noise, you can throw bottles, create distractions, you know, that kind of stuff. But then you find a gun, and then you start to find more ammo, and then you get the ability to craft ammo. And by the end of it, I was shooting stuff as much as I was as Leon, just as Grace. She is handy with a weapon. She doesn't like do drop kicks or like suplexes or anything, but if you stagger a zombie, you can push them over. And my go-to tactic by the end of the time I was playing was to stagger a zombie, push them over, and then just stand over them and just empty the gun into their head until they didn't get up. But yeah, it's playing as Grace, like there's a lot more of the sort of puzzling stuff than there was in the Leon section, but then I was playing it for a lot longer. So you've got your door in the hallway that needs 3 particular crests, and you've got to go around the Chronic Care Center and find these things, and there's like puzzles to solve, and you've got to look at photographs and look in the background for clues, for codes to open things. And yeah, it was that really satisfying Resident Evil Metroidvania style thing where you find the keycard to one side of the hall, and then you explore that whole side, then you find the keycard to the other side, and you're exploring all over there. But the place is full of zombies, but also other kinds of enemies. So the zombies are interesting because while they are like the sort of Resident Evil 4 Ganados, they're not. There was a sort of like a layer of disconnect with those ones because they were speaking in Spanish, and the stuff that they were saying in Spanish was just like an outsider, get him, and that kind of stuff. Whereas the zombies in this, they have more like personality that's linked to their behavior. So there was one kind of zombie who was like obsessed with turning off lights.
Cool.
Like, so you would be in a hallway and you could hear him being like, turn off the lights, like that, and he would go and like flick the switch and then wander off. And you could sort of kite him around by flicking on light switches, and he would come towards the light switch, and then you could sort of sneak in behind him. There's another one who was like part of the cleaning staff at the hospital, and she was like scrubbing the floors. But there was also a couple of like bigger stalker style enemies that you get in Resident Evil. So there was a chef in the kitchen who's like chopping up bodies and stuff in there, and initially you have to sort of sneak past him, but later on he moves out of the kitchen into other parts of the house. So I did a proper like full-on jump scare when I just rounded a corner. I wasn't expecting him to be there, and he was just there in the hallway.
Sweet.
But then there's also this absolutely massive blobby, like almost a baby-esque creature that is too big for the hallways, but will sort of like push its way through, like splintering the door frames and stuff as it goes. So that's moving around in there as well.
And that's the zombie of a baby, a large baby.
Yeah, I don't know. It talks as well.
Okay.
It looks like
baby.
it looks like a baby, but at one point it's like, "Don't fuck with me."
Wow. Okay.
So you're like, okay,
All right.
I don't
What's
know
your story?
yeah,
what were you in life?
What is this
We
thing?
don't know.
But yeah, it's kind of comes crashing through a wall at one point, and a bit like Mr. X, but it's just way weirder in that
Interesting.
cool like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Village kind of way.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I really liked. So yeah, the Grace gameplay, I think it's kind of what you want to make of it. If you want to play it as a kind of run and gun thing, you can end up with enough ammo and weaponry to do that. But if you also want to play it as a very stealthy, very move around without being seen kind of game, I think you can do that as well, depending on kind of what your preference is. Like I said, she's not a sort of, even though she spends the whole time going, oh god, what's going on? She's not like a total pushover.
Okay.
She is pretty handy in a fight, just like Ethan Winters ended up being.
Grace! Grace!
Another thing that's new for it, which is quite interesting, is the upgrade system now is based on infected blood, which sounds gross and is.
Like blood is a currency. Blood is like a
Blood is basically your crafting
resource. Okay.
So you find something called a blood collector, which is exactly what it sounds like, and dotted around the Chronic Care Center are these like buckets of viscera that you can use to draw up infected blood from these buckets. You can also get it from enemies you defeat.
Okay.
So when you defeat a zombie, you'll be able to pull like 20 infected blood out of it. If you find a bucket, though, that's like 70. And then when you're crafting stuff, instead of being like, chem fluid or whatever it was in previous Resident Evils. You will combine like scrap and blood to make ammo, or you'll combine like herbs and blood to make it a healing syringe.
Like a bloody paste of herbs.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense, but in that Resident Evil way, that's quite charming.
Yeah, and I wonder if, like, thematically it does make sense because you're in a chronic care center or something.
But you use these like this like lab equipment to unlock new crafting recipes and stuff. It's like a sort of centrifuge microscope thing that sort of analyzes stuff, and there's a mini game where you have to line up atoms and particles in this.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's quite odd, but it's all quite intuitive, and it sort of makes sense.
All right.
But yeah, it's so involving, and there are all these different kinds of zombies as you're going along. There was one who sings like she's an opera singer, and she does like a sonic voice attack that will kind of stagger you if you get hit by it.
She's in the chronic care center for
well,
vocal strain or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I think these people are all being treated with some sort of virus from Umbrella, and it's like this woman's like vocal cords.
Well, this is what I want to know. You're back in Raccoon City.
Yeah.
It's, did we say 25 years later?
Yeah, I think it's contemporary.
And like I think the very earliest trailers were like, and we're going to go back to the start, and we're going to reveal new things to be revealed, new revelations about everything you thought you know about Resident Evil and Raccoon City and the T virus. You know, it's going to be upturned. Is that more marketing, or is that?
It's hard to tell because we've only seen this like this one location.
Yeah.
I don't know how long the game is going to be. I would be, hoping for your standard Resident Evil length, about 12 hours.
Yes.
But, I mean, I was playing the game for a solid 3 hours just trying to solve this one door puzzle, so it felt pretty involved. And there were bits of the Chronic Care Center clearly that I could get to that weren't like open to me at that point.
Okay.
But I would assume that if you're on the outskirts of Raccoon City, they're going to want to show what's actually going on in the
centre. Working your way into
yeah.
the city, because we saw the police station in one of the
exactly.
the earliest trailer, I think.
Yeah.
You got to go back to the station. Maybe not like a fully explorable Resident Evil station.
Like
we've been there, but
like in Resident Evil 3, where you sort of ran through part of the police station from 2.
Exactly.
On your way through.
Yeah.
It would be really cool to do that.
Yeah, revisit some like classic, all the hits.
Yeah, it was. I mean, what I played so far I was just like, this is exactly what this game should be. It was such a great combination of like action and horror, and just that kind of special Resident Evil weirdness. Like the final Leon section that I played, we did the whole Grace bit. I got to the end of that section, and then it loaded up another section with Leon in like the attic of the Chronic Care Center. But then like another one of those like monstrous baby things attacks you in the attic, and you're in this very cramped attic where this thing can like smash through the beams and come at you that way. And it was a nice Resident Evil boss fight where you've got to try and use the environment to lure it around and get your shots in and stuff. And there are other like offensive things in there as well. You've got these. Do you remember in Blade, where Blade got the syringes of that anticoagulant that would cause vampires to explode?
Yes.
You can basically craft those now, and if you get a stealth attack on a zombie, it makes them like swell up and explode.
Yeah, I saw that in the
which is
demo.
Cool.
That's too effective.
There's a. You remember in the Resident Evil remake where if you didn't destroy a zombie's body, it would come back as a Crimson Head, who were like faster and more erratic. There's a similar mechanic in this where zombie corpses, if you put them down, they will reanimate with a kind of big bulgy head, and they become way quicker and way more like skittery and erratic and hard to hit. So, but it happens about the time that you get the shotgun, which is, that's what you need for that kind of enemy.
Sure.
So there was another big section where I had to fight kind of waves of those guys who were all just like resurrecting off the floor and then coming at you with big bulgy heads. But I don't think there's anything out that people wouldn't expect from this, but also that's a good thing because it's like all the best parts of Resident Evil like condensed across what I was playing. It just felt like more of the best of Resident Evil, and that's what I want from Resident Evil Requiem. Like I really enjoyed the Ethan Winter stuff, but there's just, I don't know, Leon is such a great character. It's in a big ornate mansion, which is so the best part of Resident Evil. Those are my favorite parts of Village, were the haunted house and the castle.
Sure.
And again, I don't know if it's going to move location in the final game, and there will be bits that are in a sewer or a forest for some reason. But everything that I played so far was just like 10 out of 10 nailing the Resident Evil formula. So yeah, I'm talking about Resident Evil Requiem, but all I want to be doing is playing it.
Don't do anything stupid.
Me? Never.